One man, one mission, to rid the world of chronic anxiety once and for all. The Anxiety Guy, Dennis Simsek, shares his personal transformation from living a life filled with overwhelming worry to becoming a full-fledged positivity machine, a leading authority in generalized anxiety. Dennis gets to the truth of your mental health challenges and sets you on a path to transforming each and every area of your life. Here he is, the one and only, the Anxiety Guy.
Welcome everyone to episode number 157 of the Anxiety Guy podcast. This is your host, Dennis Simsek, and this podcast episode is brought to you by the number one CBT-based program for anxiety today at anxietyexit.com. Go check it out. Start your recovery, my friends. Now, today we're discussing the 7 things that only anxiety can teach you. Now, these are things that mentors can't really teach you, coaches, therapists, and authority figures and such. These are things that you have to learn based on going through the struggle, going through the challenges. Now, you may be thinking, anxiety teaching me something? The only thing it's teaching me is the fact that I don't want to live with anxiety for the rest of my life. Well, anxiety, listen to this. Anxiety is a means to an end, and we get to choose what that end will be. Your anxiety struggle isn't so different than the next person's, as much as you may think that it is unique and it is more bewildering and painful and uncomfortable than the next person. It is not. Now, let's get into the first thing that only anxiety can teach you. If you're living daily in an emotional state that goes against your desires, there is imbalance within your human energy. So this is what anxiety teaches us. It teaches us that we are thinking about things in ways that create fear and chaos for the sole reason that you are addicted to suffering and you know nothing else. Your mom suffered, your dad suffered, your siblings suffered, your coaches suffered, your teachers suffered, they all suffered. And they made you believe that life was full of suffering. So every time something good comes around, you find a way to sabotage that goodness. And what comes after that? You're right back into fear, drama, and what you're used to. The second thing that anxiety teaches us is that perspective is possible, warriors. Perspective is possible. Let me explain. It's possible to have different outlooks over your past and present experiences, as long as we recognize our 3 choices. Perspective number 1, perspective number 2, and perspective number 3. Perspective number 1, meaning I can see everything from my eyes. Perspective number 2, I can see the situation from the other person's eyes and their viewpoint. Perspective number 3, an outsider's viewpoint, someone who's not even in the situation. When you're encountering a situation that you deem as uncomfortable or potentially life-threatening in your mind, that has interpreted this small thing as something that is a big thing, take a few moments and just place your perspective from another person's standpoint. Look at the situation from where they are. Look at it from an outsider's perspective. Anxiety teaches us that if I feel a certain way, if I consistently think a certain way, then I am perceiving in a certain way. So how do I change my thinking? How do I change the way I feel? Well, you take a whole nother perspective. And it's not as open and shut as that, but that is the starting point. The third thing that anxiety teaches us is that you don't need to be held hostage to your core beliefs. You can change them. Anxiety teaches us this because there have been times recently and in your past where you have changed them, hasn't there? As uncomfortable as feeling different and good might have been for you, you have changed your perspective. You have shifted the meaning behind something. You have felt neutral. You have felt pleasant. To change a core belief means to go against something that your authority figure believed in. Mom or dad, or someone that taught you what you're currently struggling with, what you believe to be true that is in fact harming you right now. You have to make a choice. You have to say, I'm going to stop believing that now. I'm going to stop thinking like they did. And it doesn't mean I don't love them. It just means I'm ready to grow up. Mentally, emotionally. I've got a 50-year-old body, but I've still got the 7-year-old mind. I think the same way I did back then, and I feel as scared as I was back then. What's going on? The process of maturation, to mature out of those core beliefs is possible, and we can change them. The fourth thing that anxiety teaches us is that the imagination can be used for self-sabotage or greatness. Your viewpoint over the future occurrence is completely up to you. If you choose to begin practicing this, of course. So remember that with every thought that you give priority to and every thought that you get highly emotional around, you are also creating an image in your mind based around that thought. And that image is based around the outlook over the situation. So your left brain creates the thought, and your right brain, in all its imaginative creativity, is giving you, most of the time, the catastrophic ending. Or it could also give you greatness. Could anxiety be a means to an end, and an end meaning the end that you want for your life? Yes. Or anxiety can be like living in hell on earth. It's your choice. You aren't to blame. Let's understand this. You aren't to blame fully for what you're feeling. Okay? There were way too many unconscious factors that go into play based around what you're feeling today, how you're thinking, and who you've created. All right? So let's understand that. But remember that it is your responsibility to overcome this, to move past this. But again, if you're going to move past this, something must go away. Something must die. Beliefs must die. Interpretations must go away. The way you used to think that served a need back in the day no longer is needed. And you must understand this. The fifth thing that anxiety teaches us is that love is the answer to fear. And you hear it all the time. Dennis, you're getting all quirky. No, love really is the answer to fear. It's the answer to everything. Love the very thing you fear, and you will set yourself free. Love your parents for teaching you valuable lessons. Love your coworkers for bringing forth different personalities so that you could adjust yourself in ways to create lasting bonds with each and every one of them. Love yourself for all you are right now, because you already have everything you need to live a fulfilling life. You just can't see it yet, because the internal model that your brain has created filters out the good in you and it focuses solely on the bad, so that if something that is a threat to your survival shows up, you'll be prepared for it. This is what we call the safety loop. You get stuck in it. Number 6 is certainty isn't always necessary. Certainty isn't always necessary. You don't have to be certain and have that guarantee all the time. And I can hear you saying, Dennis, no, I do. I need the certainty all the time. I need to guarantee my good health. I need to guarantee that the kids are dressed and ready for school every single morning. I can't spend any extra time on that, and so on. I need all of these things to be in order. Well, some of your greatest memories were when the outcome wasn't obvious. You were spontaneous, you had faith, and you allowed life to provide the outcome. Don't you remember? Number 7 is you hold the key to your state and results. Anxiety teaches us that what we currently feel, whether pleasant or uncomfortable, is our creation. Many times this creation is formed unconsciously, but still our creation. Warrior, you hold the master key to your emotional state, but you'll never live the type of life you want until you become the type of person that is vibrationally aligned with that life. I'm going to leave you with that. I love you so very much. You are more than anxiety. If you're enjoying this podcast, please give it a positive rate and review, and I'll see you very, very soon. Have a wonderful day. You deserve it.
Thanks for being an important part of the Anxiety Guy podcast community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive rate and review. If you're searching for further support on your road to recovery from anxiety, head over to anxietyexit.com and take part in the powerful End the Anxiety program based around the CBT model. If you're searching for a more one-on-one approach, you can sign up now for personal coaching sessions with Dennis via Skype. Remember, you are more than anxiety. See you in the next episode.